Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Shieldcoomer, and today we're gonna be covering the other side 20 on Tyrannical, Spiteful Necrotic. Pretty awful week, you know, it's a pretty awful week to be honest. It's I don't know, as obviously like as you guys know, previous seasons I played this disc. I felt like disc was kind of good for Necrotic simply because my line of thinking is, like, what's the counterplay to Necrotic, right? It's, for the most part, it's damage reduction or immunity, right? Or obviously, like, tank being able to dispel himself. So, for that, I felt like the healers I played until now, which are Holy Paladin and Disc Priest, were pretty good, because you get pins up to help tanks if they don't have these spells. Because when they get, like, high Necrotic stacks, before their health drops low, you just pins up them, and it, like, obviously it's not gonna like carry the pulls and stuff, but it will help. So I felt like that's pretty convenient. However, as a Holy Priest, you don't really have tools to help here. We have a lot of healing, so even on a high Necrotic stacks you can still provide some healing, but obviously once that gets to, you know, like 80-90% absorption, it just becomes pointless. So honestly, this is the type of week where you just kind of need to trust your tank to handle his business a lot. You can throw, you know, like a Guardian Spirit on them obviously, and you know, that's like a, you know, cheat that kind of thing. But other than that, you're just kind of like letting them handle it on their own. Simply because that's the only way to handle this week, basically, as a Holy Priest. And here I thought we were skipping, but I was, yeah, that was kind of silly to be honest. I wasn't sure what we were doing, to be honest. I don't really, I'm not sure how I feel about this route in general. It's a good route though, it's a good route. I don't know, something about these like early skips feels weird, but it makes sense though, guys. If you think about it, it makes sense because, like, it's Tyrannical, right? You want to put Bloodlust on bosses, and you want to use Bloodlust as soon as possible, and this is probably the most efficient way to do that. So, I guess, yeah, it's a good thing. I'm pretty sure it's smart. I mean, I know a lot of people do this and like this route. It's pretty much became, I think, probably like a standard route at this point. But yeah, probably a good route, I guess. I would say, yeah, I think so. But yeah, as I said, as Holy Priest, like, dealing with Necrotic is not very fun. But if you have a good tank, it shouldn't be an issue. And DH, I feel like, is really good for that, because DH can kite, and they also play Kyrian. So they have Vial to remove it, so that they're actually like a really good tank for Necrotic week, I would say. And then we also have Spiteful, which, as I've said multiple times, I actually find Holy Priest to be decent for Spiteful, simply because we have a knock and we have a fear. So if you're on the same page with your team and, you know, you want to make sure that you guys are not, you know, overlapping like your fears and CCs and stuff, I'm pretty sure you can coordinate some really good, like, kiting for Spiteful, or just invite a Frost Mage who will freeze everything. Honestly, the amount of Frost Mages that aren't slowing down Spitefuls is really triggering. Like, there was one key I did, I remember, it was Theater, and I was really triggered because the Frost Mage just refused to freeze Spitefuls. And you know, as a mage, you don't really care because you have so much mobility and stuff. But when I play as a priest and like Spitefuls are running at me in like tight corridors, there's not much you can do, you know. I don't have invis, I don't have block, I don't have, yeah. But yeah, anyway, let's focus on Hakar a little bit. So this boss, there's nothing really fancy we can do about this except just heal people and deal damage. Pretty standard, you know. The damage reduction is something you can use here. So, you know, if you have the conduit on the fade, and I would recommend playing this conduit. Actually, I like it. I think it's good. It's the only damage reduction we have. So like if you're playing fade conduit, you can get, like, every time you press a fade, you can get damage reduction for like, I think it's like 5 seconds or something. It's like 10%. It's quite a bit. I know it sounds insignificant, but you know, the way Hakar works, for example, is every time the blood barrier hits, he gains shield, right? So basically the goal is to negate the shield as much as you can, clearly, to kill the boss as soon as possible. And this counts for both his units and our units, so, you know, the more things that are out there to hit, the better. That's why, like, the actual tactic on Hakar that a lot of people don't even, like, really do is kill ads before he casts Blood Barrier, but right as he casts it, because otherwise he just resummons them. It's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, if he deals less damage, which we achieve by using, you know, immunities and damage reduction abilities on the Blood Barrier, then obviously he's gonna have smaller shields, which is obviously good for group, because then we can deal more damage and finish the boss faster, and he also, you know, you also take less damage from a dangerous ability, so it's kind of like a win-win-win scenario. So yeah, it's good to have some DR. I feel like in general on higher keys, damage reduction just gains value, simply because, I mean, it's logical, right? At some point there's too much damage that you cannot out-heal, and obviously if things are one-shotting you, the amount of healing you have and the amount of healing you can provide is irrelevant, because people just die in one hit. I'll give you an example. So I was doing Gambit, and there are those big guys in the first section of the dungeon, right, with their lakes and stuff, with the Murlocs. They're those big rock guys. Well, those guys will one-shot you on Fortified. Fortified 22 is what I did, and they one-shot me even when pressing Desperate Prayer and pressing Fade. So, I mean, Blizzard nerf, I guess, or something. I mean, it's just so strange that there are mobs out there that will like one-shot you and that there's nothing you can do, you know? I don't know, maybe we were bad, maybe there's like some debuff I missed, but we didn't bolster him and he still one-shot. He dealt like 77k damage, I think. Like the overkill was like 6k or something, so like it's close to being survivable, but it's not quiet, right? So this is what I mean. Like, this is, for example, why I say I value Disc very highly, because Disc just has like a barrier, right? For moments like these, if you just put down barrier, you live, right? But obviously, you know, I'm gonna focus on the Holy. I don't know, sorry guys, I'm being nostalgic. I miss playing Discipline Priest. Holy is, don't get me wrong, Holy is fun actually, it's pretty good. And there's quite a lot of ways to min-max Holy as well, you know. It seems like a simple spec, and it is on the surface. But especially with 4 set, you actually get a lot more additional tools, and there's definitely quite a bit of things that you can do as a Holy Priest to improve your gameplay. And also something I myself was guilty of, and I think still am to a degree, is since you have insane amounts of healing on this class, on this spec, sometimes you just overheal for no reason instead of doing damage, and this class can deal damage. We can do some really nice DPS with like Smite spamming into Chastise. Holy Fire deals sick damage. Divine Star is a good ability, and then don't even get me started on the Kyrian boon. I mean, no. It's a really good ability, and here I'm getting here because I wanted the fear, then I realized I have no fear. So that was actually kind of scary. For example, this is like Enraged Spirits is something I'm terrified of as a Discipline Priest, and yet when I'm playing Holy, I'm never worried about these guys, because I know I can just press like him or my Sanctifies into Apotheosis into like another Sanctify with Prayer of Mending and like Serenity on the targets that are dying quicker, you know, they didn't pop defensives, you just can't lose people. I mean, obviously you can, don't get me wrong. On fortified high keys, like you can only take like 2 ticks. So obviously you can die. What I'm trying to say is that you have tools to deal with it, right? Whereas, you know, in some other specs you don't really have this much healing that comes instantly. But yeah, Apotheosis just makes this spec broken together with 2 set. It just the amounts of serenities we get back is crazy. You can basically like every 2 casts, I think, if you play your cards right. It's like 2 globals between each serenity. It's pretty insane. It's pretty insane. Especially if you have some like flash heal procs, you can throw out ridiculous amount of serenities. That's why it's usually kind of like, I wouldn't say recommended, but there are situations where, most of situations actually, where you want to save those procs on your flash kills. Now keep in mind though, I will say this, in this dungeon I'm still playing Harmonious Apparatus. I'm pretty sure, since I don't see my flash concentration stacks. So like something to keep in mind, right? Rotations are obviously different if you're playing flash concentration. If you're playing flash concentration, you really gotta make sure you're maintaining those stacks on 5. You really don't want to be dropping them, and that sometimes leads you to consuming maybe flash heals, flash heal procs that you wouldn't normally want to consume, which is okay.
But I haven't had his mojo long enough to create.
Which is okay, but it's just something to be aware of, right? Because I do feel like the playstyle is a little bit different. Like with Harmonious Apparatus, you really gotta like calculate your casts a little bit better, simply because there's more spells that reduce your words. So when you're fishing for those like Sanctify or Serenity procs, you obviously wanna get the buff from your set on the right spells, right? You don't wanna be just randomly throwing out spells. So just something to consider. Maybe get a weak aura that makes you more aware of your procs and stuff. It's something I actually have to do as well. Really gotta get a weak aura that gives me a better idea of when my set is proccing Divine Conversation. And when I'm having the boost right on my next holy word and stuff, it's because it is useful, right? Because let me give you an example. Like sometimes you want to be dealing damage, right? Sometimes you want to be using like holy fire or chastise and stuff like that. And you know, if you know your tank is gonna be in danger or something, like you don't want to waste your procs on like chastise instead of like serenity or something like. Once again, I don't think any of these things are necessary, but obviously, as always, like, you know, it's just talking about optimizing the gameplay, you know, to its fullest potential, because if you can't do something right and you know how to do something right, why would you do it wrong, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. And here's something nice I like to do, so you can just divine him this ability when it happens. It's not great, it's not gonna keep people alive if you fail the mechanic, but it will help, it definitely helps. Yeah, so this boss, I always talk about this boss. It's a very interesting boss. This team was pretty good and our damage was so ridiculous that most of the time it didn't really feel like we were in any danger, but I will say here, like, we missed the soak. Because the person that was soaking the laser also got the other laser. I mean, it's the stun laser, right? So you just have to make sure that these lasers are always soaked and they don't go into the boss, especially on the Tyrannical League. Just something to keep in mind. And here we deal with the Maleficent towards the end. I actually think we should have lasted for Maleficent. Usually you last for Maleficent, and we kind of lasted for the Millhouse or whatever he's called. Kind of unusual, but you know, it's a PUC team. Communication is, you know, not the best. I guess somebody said the BL question mark and the guy just BL'd and that's it, you know. But yeah, here deals some nice Kyrian damage. I mean, overall my damage in these keys is okay, I would say, but we can do more, especially like nowadays I have a trinket. I don't think I've uploaded a single key yet with a trinket. I'll have to do that. I actually forgot to record, like, I did a Plagueful 22 the other day, and I didn't record it. Then I did another 22, and I did Mists 23 that was over time by like a couple of seconds. And also my, the other key I did was also over time couple of seconds. I don't really have a habit of uploading like high keys that fail, or any keys that fail, simply because, I don't know. I feel like it would be good content, but and yeah, here guys, this was just me being a moron. Like, there's no SK wire. I wasn't even aware we pulled that guy. Honestly, I thought we were just pulling the RF and the other guy. I think I will die actually again here, if I remember correctly, or it's gonna be close. Yeah, I'm just like totally out of position here. This is so dumb. Yeah, that was just super stupid. I don't know why I did that. That was embarrassing. I'm not really like this skip. Because I know this skip was pretty standard. Well, not this exact skip because we didn't have wall, but if you had Shroud and you always had Druid previous season, there was like this skip people were doing where you just go through everything. They just do boss or those black slimes. But I didn't really do that many keys last season because I was a little bit more focused on raiding in general. And I got like I got all the teleports pretty early into the season, and then I just kind of like, I don't know, I guess I just got bored of keys. I didn't really enjoy keys last season. I didn't like the seasonal affix. I thought they were pretty boring, to be honest. So I just kind of like didn't really play that much, I guess. Yeah. So I'm not really like these skips are still kind of like a little bit new to me. So I'm not really yet into the habit of properly positioning in this corridor coming from this side. It's just something I still have to learn. Besides, I also hate the other side. Actually, I just dislike this dungeon. It's way too long. And it has hard bosses to heal as well. Like, especially like Dealer and Mana Storms can both be very difficult. Even Muezawa. Even Hakar can be difficult. But Hakar is more of a DPS check in a way, so I like doing Hakar, I guess, because I feel like my damage actually feels relevant instead of just like speeding things up. But yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. Here's another enraged spirit, you know. This one is without the stun, so here you really do have to be careful. I like to do the boon here. If you time it right, you can get the heal, the explosion from heal when you actually need it. Like if you start like a little bit earlier. And I don't know, I guess make sure you have like Prayer of Mending on like a DPS, so that when he starts AoEing, it will start jump and dealing more damage, if that makes sense. Because I have a habit of putting it on tank, but tank procs it immediately, because tank is tanking, right? I mean, wow, tanking, crazy, right? But I hope it makes sense. And here I actually picked up aggro, but I faded, so that was a good play by me. Luckily, this could have been a disaster, by the way. This was really close, this tank. I don't know how he survived here, and I don't know how I survived. I guess we got lucky that the guy went into the cast mode, but yeah, I could have gotten one shot there by the Shadow Core when I had the aggro. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is just like, be smart with Prayer of Mending. Like, if you wanna use Prayer of Mending as an AoE heal for DPSers, what you need to do is you need to put it on a DPS that you know will take damage when the actual AoE starts coming, because then it will start jumping, right? Because if you just put it on tank, which as I said is what I do very often, you'll just end up like proccing it immediately, and it will start doing healing, but it will do like less and less and less every time it jumps. So I don't know, it just kind of makes sense to me. I hope I explained it well. I'm not even sure if this is like the super correct play. It's just kind of like a logical way to think about it, I guess.
Now old boy and Sam, they don't just be making these on Azeroth. Brokers be looking for power too. All kind of power. This one ain't gonna want to give me back my mojo. So careful now. She's tricky.
Empowered.
And here Ardenwild, if I remember correctly, we were pretty clean in Underworld overall. Ardenwild I feel like is a zone that kills a lot of keys simply because people kinda like underestimate it a little bit. And then what ends up happening is they're not like properly communicating, or they're not properly prepared. And obviously, since this is the biggest zone where you can save a lot of time, like it is very important to play this correctly. And I feel like we played it quite okay here, although this was really dumb of me. I don't know if I didn't notice him there, or I just didn't really think it's gonna kill me, but yeah. Honestly, with this setup, we had all the tools we needed. We had Frost Mage to help kiting, we had best tank in kiting, which is DH. Actually, I don't know if they're better than... Are they better than monks? I don't know. I guess it's... I don't really play that much with monks. I just don't really... I don't know. I think it's... I don't dislike them. Monks are... Well, good monks are insane. I just never really, like, got into it. I played with some monk that was doing, like, 17, 18k HPS every single pull. Did a Plaguefall with him. It's the one that we like didn't time by like 10 seconds or something. It was pretty crazy. I don't know. But yeah, just something to be aware of. You know, it's like your setup as well will also dictate how much healing you need to do on the tanks and on other things as well. Because some classes are just like a little bit tankier and they have like a little bit better utility when it comes to the when it comes to simply like surviving, right, and using defensives, right? Because like for example mages, they're pretty independent if they're good. Between altar time and frost and ice block and mirror images, like I genuinely feel like only bad mages die. Like you really should never die as a mage. It's ridiculous. Like you can die. It's impossible. You also have like a shield, which is like 20k shield, and if you're playing like a Ventir, you also get like an additional shield and stuff. It's crazy. Like the class is just insane. It's a busted ass class. It's why I like mages. They are squishy though, but obviously, like as I said, with that many defensives, like all you have to do is press them. So like usually, like if there's like a AoE, I usually don't even look at the mages because I'm just thinking like, you know, we have altar time. So what you want to do though is you want to keep them up, right? You do want to make sure they have full HP so they can actually get a nice value out of their altar time. Oh, that was a big lag spike. Wow, that is amazing. But yeah, here once again, see like binding shot, and then all these guys are just like frozen in place. So tank just leaps away, resets his stacks, we go again. Very simple gameplay. Very efficient, very good. You gotta love frost mages in M+. They're really good. Look at this, like these spirits, they can't even reach you. It's crazy. And I also think frost mage, if I remember correctly, they actually get like a DPS increase from the from killing these spirits, because they can improve the uptime on the icy veins, I think, and you get more like icicle procs in general. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but that's how I remember it. I you know, I don't really have a friend frost mage anymore, so I don't like, you know, nobody to really talk about specs that much. But yeah, matriarch, just, you know, just kill it. It's very simple. I don't know, these packs are simple. I don't really have anything smart to tell you guys. I'm just kind of rambling. you know, as I said, like usually I would say just heal the tank, but in this case you don't even heal the tank, you just deal damage, because it's like tanks have necrotic stats, so you don't really heal them. I mean, you can throw like a Guardian Spirit on start and then make sure you heal Guardian Spirit. Yeah, one thing, okay, I guess this could be a good opportunity to talk about this. So one thing I want to say about Guardian Spirit is, you know, I think a lot of people misunderstand this ability. They think like you should throw it on a tank and then ignore tank, but it's actually quite the opposite. It's like you want to throw it on the tank and then you want to make sure that it doesn't proc, because you're playing the talent, obviously, because you're a good player. You're playing the talent that says that if your Guardian Spirit doesn't proc, you get a 60-second CD instead of 3 minutes. So what that allows you to do is it allows you to use Guardian Spirit on every single pull in the dungeon, basically, because it's a 1-minute CD, together with your Kyrian boon, and you don't have to worry about tank, because with that much extra healing on the tank from Guardian Spirit, which also increases their healing on themselves, by the way, don't forget that. They're just self-sustainable, and all you need to do is throw an occasional Serenity, and if they're like in the real trouble, obviously not on a Necrotic week, but in some other week, if they're in the real trouble, you just pop Apotheosis, so a Serenity, Apotheosis, another Serenity, then you can use maybe like a Flash Heal proc that you saved from earlier, then you throw like another Serenity, and then you throw a Sanctify, then you throw another Flash Heal, then you throw a Serenity, and it's just like, just keep the chain going. No way the tank dies. Like honestly, like as holy priests, we should never really let our tanks die. It's obviously if the tank is like bad and is not using his defensives and stuff, then I guess that key's doomed to fail anyway. Like I hate. I've had the luck of like playing with good tanks actually this season so far. Maybe I just jinxed myself, but I remember some previous seasons, and I've only had like one key this season where I literally couldn't use a single global that wasn't like tank heal the whole dungeon, and these keys are the worst. I actually absolutely hate playing healers in keys like that, and it just makes me want to leave. And I know people will say, you know, like, healer complaining about healing. Oh no. Well, yeah, I'm complaining if all I have to do is tank heal, because it means you're not pressing your defenses, you know, you're not playing correctly. And it's annoying, because then it doesn't let me play my class correctly, and, you know, we could be dealing a lot of damage, but the problem is, unlike this, where you can deal damage and heal, as a holy priest, you can't really do that. I mean, obviously you can, but like every global that deals damage doesn't also heal in our class, and vice versa, except for the Divine Star. But Divine Star isn't like, it's not really tank healing. It's not enough. So it's just something to be aware of. So like obviously, I mean, I want to say make sure your tank is good, but that's not really something you can make sure of. So yeah. And here I've actually made a mistake, so like, I've popped Apotheosis that didn't really, like, it helped me live, but it didn't really do that much. And then look at here like, I had
Arcane Lightning.
Yeah, see, I just took too many Arcane Lightnings here. This is, we didn't really manage it good as a team in general, and here you will see me die because I used all my defensives and I just die here. But I had Serenity there towards the end. I didn't, so I looked at my bars, I didn't have Serenity. It was very close, and I thought I'm dead if I don't cast any heal, and then Serenity came up. But like in retrospective, I could have lived there, obviously, and I also didn't use a health pot. I know, horrible player. Get good at the game, like, literally uninstall. I really gotta like find a nice key to put my health pots in and get into the habit of using them. I feel like that will make me so much better as a player. Like I die so many times with health pots still up. Like it's actually embarrassing. Like I hate when that happens. And here I don't know. Guys, usually I have this problem as a player in general. Like when I die or when pulls go chaotically, sometimes I just kind of like tilt and I don't really play properly anymore. This is not something I do in raids. I don't know. I think I just take raids more seriously. Like in raids I'm very like calm and very calculated when it comes to like people making mistakes, because I expect it more. But I feel like in M+, like everybody has so much more individual responsibility, and I'm not really used to like things going like horribly wrong. So that when things do go wrong, I just kind of like, I don't know, I lose the pacing, I lose the thought process, and then I kind of play bad as a result. But yeah, it's obviously like, you know, it's just something that you clearly shouldn't do. And you know, it's something to work on, I guess. I'm still, you know, M+ is a relatively new concept still to me compared to like concept of raiding, because I have raided in a bunch of games for like years. But like dungeons in this sense where you're speeding through them and like the speed matters so much and the execution, that is a new concept, and it's a very interesting one. I actually really like M+. I see a lot of like hate on the internet for M+ and stuff, and there's for sure ways to improve it. I would actually like to make a video about that at some point. Just like, you know, talk about some of the opinions I have on M+. But yeah, it's basically like, you know, just making sure that you stay focused no matter what, and be ready for your team to do both horrible plays and both amazing plays. Usually if you're pugging, you're more ready for the horrible plays, but I've seen like people do some sick saves, right? Like if things go wrong, I've seen like tanks solo a pack sometimes and stuff like that. It's obviously not ideal, and sometimes it loses way too much time and then people want to give up. But you know, I've done some crazy keys. Obviously I haven't recorded all the keys I've done, and I haven't uploaded all the keys I've done, but I've done some crazy keys which seemed like there's no way we timed them, and I was about to give up. I was like, guys, we're not doing this. And then somebody's like, no, we got this, and we do it like by like, you know, 3 seconds spare or something. It's, you know, so I guess I don't want to say never give up, because sometimes, you know, it's smart to give up, but yeah, just be ready to, you know, be surprised, I guess. Which I guess beats the point of being surprised, because I mean the very word surprise kind of implies that you expected something else and then got something other. Alright, let's not go into the philosophy. Alright boys, so Mazala, pretty straightforward guys. I'm not really gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna let you enjoy the fight. Strat for this boss is pretty simple. Stack with your range DPS, or you can even stack with your range melee DPS. Point is, you want to make one big circle of debuffs so that all of you can cross safely, and then you just dodge his like Kamekame waves. Make sure to heal tanks. Tanks actually do take a lot of damage here. Don't use your, I would say don't use your boon before you go into the portal if you're doing like 2-1-1-1. If something I noticed people are doing on Tyrannical, for example, what I think we will do here is we won't all go solo. We will go together, so we will do like 3 people on one totem, 2 people on another totem, and then we will do 2 rounds, because it's Tyrannical, so we don't think we can one cycle it anyway. I actually disagree with this. I think we could have one cycle, especially Holy Priest. Like we have a Kyrian like a ascension boon thingy, so like there's really no reason for us not to be able to do the totem, but it's just something the guys wanted to do, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll trust them, I guess, you know. And besides, we had so much extra time that maybe it's better to play it safe. Alright guys, just want to say thank you for watching. Really appreciate it, you know. Let me know what you think about the keys. You know, any sort of feedback, comments, criticism, highly appreciate it. If you're feeling extra spicy, make sure to click that subscribe button. Let me know if you found this video helpful. Let me know how your M+ adventures are going. I feel like this season has been fun so far. I kind of like these affixes at the moment, so I'm having a lot of fun in M+, and I'm like enjoying learning the Holy Priest. So just want to hear what other people think about the current like class balance, the patch in general, the dungeons, and stay safe out there, guys. Stay safe. Take care. Hope to see you again. Or else. Nah, I'm joking. Okay, see you guys. Take care. Enjoy the Muezala kill.
Cosmic Artifice, Soul Crusher. Master of Death.
Your life be mine. The shadows take ya. So small, so weak.
Soul Crusher.
Darkness be mine to command.
Cosmic Artifice. Soul Crusher.
Darkness be mine to command.
Cosmic Artifice. Master of Death.
The shadows take ya. So small, so weak. Your life be mine.
Soul Crusher. Shatter reality.
You best hurry. The price don't matter now. Foolish mortals. Me be the true god of death.
Empowered.
Coalescing.
You never care about your people, only power. You had better to pay attention, father of sleep. There be no escaping death. Darkness be mine to command.
Cosmic Artifice. Soul Crusher. Master of Death.
The shadows take ya! So small, so weak. Your life be mine!
Soul Crusher.
Darkness be mine to command.
Soul Crusher.
Darkness be mine to command.
Master of Death.
Mortal, your life be mine! Times change, man. So small. Mortals never be as weak as you believe them to be. You see, they have potential. But don't you be worrying about a thing. You're gonna be having plenty of time to learn from your mistakes. You did good, heroes, yeah. But what Mozala got coming, ain't for mortal eyes. Take your trinkets and be gone with ya. That be some big talk one Sunday, but you be nothing before the jailer. You better watch your tongue, little thing. One someday the boss man now.